Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Firewatch. We are now on day 78. We had a hell of a day yesterday. We went and explored Wapiti Meadow, which left us with more questions than answers, and unfortunately also resulted in an additional fire burning alongside the big fire. You can see that it is incredibly smoky out there. It's getting more and more dangerous to be here, and we're kind of running out of time to figure out what the hell is going on. You can see that Henry has gone full blown conspiracy theorist by taping up everything that he's gathered so far as evidence in the tower here. The only thing he's missing is a little bit of string to make the picture complete. And he's also added a couple of his own notes, his own questions, obviously asking a lot of questions because we still just don't know what is going on. Delilah changing the radios just didn't really seem to do anything at all. There is somebody still out there. Our objective for today is to go to the cave and open up that locked gate because we were able to find a backpack with the missing keys. And hopefully that will give us some answers, whether they be good or bad. Before I leave, I am going to read Henry's typewritten entry because I do believe he was up late last night typing away on the typewriter. I didn't write down more later. The sun's not up yet. I'm exhausted. At daylight, I'm going to head down into the cave in the canyon and see what I can find. I don't know what else to say, really. I know I should probably take extensive notes. Yesterday, I had the thought that maybe I'm not quite right in the head. It just came across me for a moment, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't think it for a second. I'm going down into the cave and I just hope I find something. I don't care what happens as long as I find something. I wonder what will happen if I don't make it back. I'm obviously a little worried about that, and I'm not trying to act tough, but what would actually happen? It's hard to imagine at this stage anybody would notice. Susan, my sister out in Maryland, would eventually get a call, and I'd feel bad for not seeing her and the kids for so long. But Julia, it's almost been 6 months now, and maybe it wouldn't even register. Maybe I don't even register. I just felt a little panic there. What if I do register and I just left her alone? Yeah, very sad. Obviously, still thinking a lot about Julia now. I think things are just getting very, very real for Henry now. This is no longer just a fun outing for the summer to get his mind off of things. Everything has just gotten so incredibly out of hand. This was not the way that I imagined he thought that things were going to go. And he's probably just at a point where he feels that he really has nothing to lose, and the answers are more important to him now than probably anything else. So we're gonna take the path behind the outhouse and go right into the cave.
Hey, you. You didn't actually make that call, right? To the other lookout? It just stuck in my craw. I let myself imagine how fucked I would be if you'd been lying to me. But now that I asked, I kinda just wish I hadn't.
I know you're having doubts. I think I would too.
I don't even know how to call anyone other than you. And please rest assured, I would have found someone with a better sense of humor a long time ago.
Okay. Thanks.
I do love an unreliable narrator. I kind of like it when you can feel people's paranoia creeping in and you can just see them start to become really unraveled, which is definitely what is happening here. We don't really have much of a choice but to trust each other, but I think in the back of both Henry and Delilah's minds, they probably have questions about how truthful each other are being.
What the hell?
Oh, that's just great. Hello? Anybody there?
Delilah, someone locked me in the cave. Is this thing working? Delilah! Send someone to the cave, please! Can't get any damn reception.
Also, how ridiculous is it that you cannot open this from inside? What kind of a design is that? That's ridiculous. Obviously, somebody, whoever has been following us, knew that.
Jesus, this is a big cave.
Yeah, it is a big cave. Which kind of works to our advantage because we'll be able to just walk through here pretty effortlessly. There isn't any kind of situation here where Henry's gonna have to get on his hands and knees and crawl or squeeze through gaps or anything. So that's kind of nice. This is just a very linear path, which is good for us. And then, yeah, you can see if you look down, even if you look up, I mean, this cave is huge. It looks like it goes on for a very, very long time.
It's freezing in here.
So we could be in this cave for quite a significant period of time looking for whatever it is that, we're looking for. Oh, also, a shoe.
Is anybody down there?
That's not good. That's... That's not good. Yeah, I want to get out of this cave pretty badly now at this point. Somebody locked us in, but at least they didn't follow us in, we hope. I don't really want to find out, though. Now that I'm in this cave, I regret it. I wonder if that's how Henry is feeling as well. But thankfully, it's just a nice, linear, straightforward, non-murdery, dangerous path. We can get ourselves out.
Hey, are you there?
Yeah, what is it? What did you find?
Nothing yet, because someone tried to trap me in there.
You saw someone?
No, someone slammed the gate behind me and then ran away. I found another way out, but if I hadn't, Jesus!
So you didn't find anything?
No, there's a spot where someone had sunk an anchor, but the hardware's gone now.
I don't have any climbing equipment.
I just have my ropes. I'm gonna hike back to Two Forks and see if I can find anything that could double as an anchor to use in the spot.
Well, that doesn't sound dangerous.
Well, I don't really have much of a choice. I didn't see much my first visit, but there has to be something in that cave. When you come out and after you finish talking to Delilah, you can just beeline it straight under the power lines here, go up the hill a little bit, and there's just a nice linear path to this little hideout area.
Delilah, I just found an outcropping that someone was using as a little fort. I think it was Brian Goodwin.
Really?
Yeah, he built himself a real castle.
That's kind of cute. He even drew on the little walls for his fortress. This area here is an absolute treasure trove of conversation. You can talk to Delilah about pretty much everything that's in here, and there's also a lot of stuff that we can add to our notes. I'm obviously not going to talk about everything that's here, but we will snoop around and see what it was that Brian was into while he was here.
He was in the middle of really sprucing up the joint when they left.
Looks like a pretty creative kid. He obviously has quite the imagination. He was even working on a family crest. So we can pick up the crest, and then if you drop it and look at the stuff underneath, the bundle of anchors is what we need in order to advance the story. So you'll want to pick those up when you're ready.
Huh. Brian stole his dad's climbing gear, his anchors.
That's convenient.
Yeah, it is. I think he was gonna hide them in a cash box or something and never got around to it. I mean, he left a note for a ranger to find them and send them back to him in Nebraska.
Because he hated climbing?
Yeah, it sounds like Ned was pushing him, and pretending to lose his anchors was the easiest way to put a stop to it.
I hope it worked. God, what an asshole.
Yeah. Man, that is the sort of thing that would have caused me to catch a beating growing up.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't put it past old Ned.
Let's go ahead and read this note. Dear Ranger, my name is Brian Goodwin. If you found this note, it should be with a bunch of climbing anchors, I hope. Could you do me a favor and please return them to me? Brian Goodwin, in the mail. My address is 55 Foxtrot Lane, North Platte, Nebraska. If you tell me your name and address, I will give you a reward for this. You are probably wondering why I left these here. They are my dad's, and I don't want him to lose them, but I don't want to do any more climbing on this trip, so I thought I should pretend to lose them. If you help me get them back, everyone will be happy. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Ranger Brian. P.S. The reward will be good. He seems like a very nice kid. You can look around, and obviously, he kind of lived in his own head, and it seems like he was more interested in his things like wizards and wyverns than he was actually being out here with his dad, but obviously wanted to appease him and make him happy as well.
There's a ham radio schematic here, something Brian was working on.
Yeah, I think that was the one thing Ned did do with him. You know, tinkering on stuff like that.
We also have a postcard here.
There's also a postcard here from Brian to, I guess, his neighbor.
What's it say?
That he's with his dad and sorry he can't mow his lawn this summer.
Oh, gosh.
And also he was worried his dad didn't know when school started. I'd say that's a lucky break if I were him.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Ned didn't really seem like a, with it dad.
It's a little weird that he'd just leave so much of his stuff out here.
Well, maybe they were in a hurry when they left. Like I said, he wasn't supposed to be out here.
Yeah.
They almost got busted. Brian liked to go out on the railing of the tower and wave at the planes that dumped water on fires, and I got a call because someone thought a kid was up in Two Forks. I lied, and just said it was Ned. If I ratted him out, they would have been forced to leave, and I don't know, I guess I just felt like I was saving him from whatever shitty life Ned was gonna bring him back to. Not that it ended up mattering.
You tried, Delilah. You thought you were doing the right thing, and who knows, maybe he did enjoy being out here with his dad. He just didn't always enjoy it. He wanted to also do his own thing. I'm going to go ahead and read the postcard. Dear Mr. Zackler, I'm with my dad in Lander, Wyoming. It's pretty neat. Dad fished in a spot called Sinks Canyon. Most of Wyoming looks like home in Nebraska, but then there are mountains and woods when you go far. I'm sorry I can't mow your lawn this summer, but I hope you found a good person to do it instead. Can you write back and tell my dad when school starts, because I don't think he knows. your friend and neighbor, Brian Goodwin. And then over in this corner, I was just sort of picking up a few other things to add to my documents section. Nothing really too exciting. Some of Brian's old homework, a folder that he was using, and then he also created this schematic to try and retrieve his backpack that he lost, the one that we found with all the ropes and the camera in it. But we grabbed our climbing anchors, and that will allow us to go back into that cave and go further down and explore.
What do you think is in there?
Probably something that will kill me. So, just sort of getting myself right with God or whatever there is.
Henry,
I mean, they closed the door when they could have just...
bashed your head in with a rock or chopped you up with
Are you serious with this shit right now?
a hatchet. God, are you sure you want to go back in there?
I'm not, but Henry seems pretty sure that he does.
Honestly, I just want to know. I want to know what is worth doing everything that's been done to us.
Yeah, me too. And not going to jail would be a nice kicker.
So right now we are backtracking to the back entrance of the cave.
Oh, also, those girls turned up. Looks like you didn't kill them. Nobody did. They took some farmer's tractor for a joyride down in Riverton and, landed in jail.
Wow, okay, well that's good news to finally hear an update about them.
Dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, we've got enough unanswered shit to answer for, I'd say.
And if you didn't take the chance to do the optional stuff that I chose to do yesterday, such as going into the old cabin to find the raccoon or finding the cassette tape in the secret spot, this is the time to do it. I believe tomorrow you do have the opportunity to do it as well, but some people have reported that the cassette tape is not there if you do it then. So we are kind of in the area where those secrets are without having to really go too far out of the way. So if you feel like doing that now, I would recommend it. Otherwise, you'll have to do it in free roam. But I have nothing else on my agenda currently except for marching back into that cave. Gotta say, Henry is either very brave or very stupid. Much braver than me. That fire is getting pretty intense, and Delilah did mention that they don't really have much time left. They will probably be evacuated at some point soon. And so if I was Henry, I would probably just thank my lucky stars that I would be getting out of here sooner than later and just leave all of this alone. But I think for Henry, not knowing is just not acceptable. He has to know. It'll eat him up inside. And that does have to be creepy, knowing that you're being watched and being followed and being monitored, especially out in the wilderness like this. But I think we are going to find something in this cave. I can feel it. There is something in here that somebody does not want us to find. And as you round the corner, you can see what that is.
Brian Goodwin.
Poor Brian Goodwin.
You fell. Your stuff gave out. Poor fucking kid.
Very sad. Just to find this poor kid here alone. And I find it interesting that the face is covered, because there are a lot of faces in this game that are obscured and you can't see them. But it does look like an accident. And as morbid as it is, I'm gonna take a photo because who knows, could be used for evidence later. We have to tell somebody about this. And that shoe that we found earlier up higher looks to be Brian's other shoe, so he took quite a significant fall, and that had to have been terrifying for that poor kid to be climbing and then all of a sudden, you're falling and that's it. You don't really have time to register. I'm trying to get the prompt to show me the rest of this. There we go. It looks like his anchor actually fell out of whatever it was anchored to. Not what I was expecting when I first played this game. It becomes a little more obvious the more of Brian's stuff that we find. But that's pretty tragic. My question is, where is his dad? And what do we do about that exactly? Because Brian was here way before Henry's time, a couple of years beforehand. And I'm sure Delilah would know if Brian was reported missing. We saw a missing flyer for another hiker. There is no missing poster that we found for Brian. Delilah didn't bring it up. But perhaps she's in on it. Maybe she knows more than she's telling. It's up to the player to just run with that. And whatever theories you want to come up with. If you are into theories, conspiracy theories, or just people's thoughts about certain things, this game has a lot of those. There are some pretty interesting videos out there with people's thoughts and how they feel about the characters and the overall plot. So if you're into that kind of stuff, I definitely recommend checking that out. If you don't mind some spoilers, if you haven't finished the game yet or played it for yourself. Henry just kind of is in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't really know what to do with that information. I guess we just have to tell Delilah. I think that's all we can do, really.
Hey, Dee.
There you are. I've been worrying my ass off.
You need to call search and rescue.
What?
There's a body in the cave. It's Brian Goodwin.
Gotta be fucking kidding me. How does that... What? I don't... How?
Climbing, I think, or made to look like a climbing accident.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's totally up to you about what it is that you think, but it looks like an accident.
I think that's just what it was. He was probably exploring the cave and maybe his rope gave out. But whoever locked me in there probably didn't even know about him.
Well, I disagree with that. Somebody had to have known about him.
I'm sorry, Delilah. I'm so sorry.
He'd be alive if I had told someone he was out here. I don't know where he'd be, but I can assure you it would not be rotting at the bottom of that cave.
I-
There's nothing to say. Hike back. I think we're leaving tomorrow anyway.
Pretty sad ending to that day. Poor Brian. You can see here that Henry is packing up his stuff to go. The smoke out there is getting very, very thick, very, very bad. It's rough out here.
You see that plane?
No, I was just busy packing up.
Well, there's gonna be a lot more. The service says this thing is 2% contained.
Is this the big fire or the site fire or?
Well, the two fires merged into one unmitigated disaster. They're renaming it after my lookout. You about packed up?
Shouldn't we talk for a sec, about things?
About what?
About everything?
About how all this stuff is connected. The surveillance, the Goodwins, Brian's death.
Look, I don't know what to say, okay? It's like the universe cooked up the cruelest thing to have happen. Does it connect to everything else? I don't know. I don't know if I even want to.
Of course you do. There's got to be a reason.
Does there?
Maybe. Maybe not. I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Well, fuck. For starters, I guess you could find the source of that signal.
Holy crap. Yeah. Oh my god.
We don't know what it is. It could be nothing.
Yeah, it could also be whoever was listening to us, whoever made the tape.
Okay. Yeah, look, you should pack up everything you need in case we get the call and you can't come back.
All right, look, if something happens,
I'll remember you.
Gee, thanks, Delilah.
I mean, am I walking into a trap right now?
I hope not. I would much rather remember you from a bar somewhere and not a jail cell. Please find who made that tape.
Okay. So we are now on day 79, which is our final day of Firewatch. We still have some unfinished business before we leave, however, so we will be taking care of that in the next video, which will also most likely be our final video. So I hope everybody is excited for that and that you will be joining me for that. I can't wait to wrap things up. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.